All right, I think I'm live. Let me check though. I am live. All right, cool. All right, guys. I know it's a little early. I'm in between my shifts right now, so I figured I'd do a quick video here on the topic um, of Patrick Day, and I also wanted to talk about just share a story um, that happened to me personally with boxing. Um, First, I want to just talk about Patrick Day. Um, I was watching that fight, and you know, it was a pretty devastating knockout to see. And it's unfortunate that this happened to him. And you never want to see this type of thing happen um, to any of these fighters. And D Style and I, we talked about it last night about these guys understanding the risk that's involved with this sport, and it's always a risk, man. um just as life is with a lot of things that we do. you know um I'm a driver. I'm a professional driver, so um that's a very dangerous job also. I mean, people die in car accidents all the time, and you know um I do my best to be as safe as possible. So but all of us, man, we all, doing anything we could, just we could not come home to see our family at any given time. And you know it's a very sad thing to see that a guy lost his life doing his job. And as for the guy who he was fighting, man, hopefully he could you know bounce back and try to carry on with his career um as best as he can. um See, I got somebody joining me here. El Jefe, what's up, bro? Thanks for joining me, man. Smash that like button if you can for me. Um, yeah, it's we've had a few deaths here in boxing recently, and it does bring up a lot of questions on fighter safety, and what could we do to improve the safety of these fighters, these guys who these I shouldn't even say these guys, these are warriors, man. These guys go in there and fight, literally fight for their family, just like a warrior would. And you know, something something has to be done for sure to try to uh do more to protect these fighters in the ring, whether it be quicker stoppages. I mentioned this to D Style last night on the show about how I seen an article. I still haven't read it yet. I'm gonna, take some time out right now after I get done with this live to read the article about possibly using headgear in the professional fighting, boxing. Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, man, that it happened. But as we also said last night, these things, they are rare, and boxing does do more good than harm. Uh, we do see sometimes guys who show the effects of uh, of their career later on in life. Um, and I'm curious to know. I don't know if anybody that's watching knows about this, but I'm curious to know about um, like, do these guys have like? I mean, I'm pretty sure that they don't, but do they have like, retirement or medical benefits or anything like that? So that when they do call it an end of their career, they could go to see like neurologists regularly. If they do start to have show signs of brain damage, they could go sit down with a therapist without having to pay out of pocket. Like we do. I mean, of course, they make a lot more than we do, but at least some of those things will be there for them to set up. Um, on their own. Let's see. So I've been saying this for years. So bigger gloves, rabbit punches are the main cause of these deaths. Bigger gloves equal more punishment. That's true, man. That is true because yeah, you can receive more shots to the head, and yeah, man, it's it's man, it's tricky, man, to try to get this thing right. Headgear is worse for the fighter. It's better for the fighter to get knocked out clean and sustain punishment for 12 rounds. That's true also, man. And another thing, from my experience, wearing headgear, at least from this is from my own opinion and my experience with headgear in boxing, it does kind of throw off your vision a little bit. I know that it seems crazy because you have all this open when you're wearing headgear. So, but I mean, I'm just telling you guys, it's different, man. It's different when you're trying to avoid punches with it on and without it on, And that could be a problem also for fighters, getting hit with shots that they might not normally get hit with. Um El Jefe, that's why UFC is more safer than. Yeah, that's one thing that I've talked with a lot of people about over the years because of the smaller gloves. It's the fights end quicker. So yeah, that's something that we have to try to we got to try to find something here, man. See, amateurs get rid of the headgear because yeah, a lot of guys I know that I grew up around training and stuff. They don't like wearing headgear. They just don't. Just about every one of them said they just don't like it. And you know, what about possibly, like I said, possibly stopping fights earlier? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can make a rule where if a fighter takes more than I don't know 3 4 punches in a row without at least blocking or without at least trying to get out of the way or something, go in there. I mean, these are just ideas, guys. I'm not, you know, this is stuff I'm thinking of at the top of my head. Um, what else could we think? Maybe I had somebody tell me today um, that I talked to about it. He was like, "Man, he looked pretty bad right before that last knockout punch, and it was that last one was unnecessary." But the thing is, like, I mean, yeah, you could tell he was clearly rocked from the shot, but also, you know, the name of the game is to try to win the fight. So yeah, guys get rocked, guys get hurt, but you know what? Guys recover. We see it all the time. So I mean, then you're looking at a premature stoppage that could, possibly, you know, ruin a fighter's money. They could, it could do a lot of damage to their career. See, both Maxim and Patrick died in the late rounds of boxing because of sustained punishment. Patrick going 10 rounds, Maxim going 12. Massive punches being a tough. Yeah, man. Let's see what we got here. Trainers, doctors got to know when to stop. Yeah, that too, man. Sometimes you got to save these guys from themselves, man, because they don't want to quit. Um, because they feel like they can continue. It's it's a it's a real tricky thing to try to fix, but I'm sure that there's something that could that we could put out there. Um, we the fans, we control the sport, man, because guess what? Without us, there is no fight game. There is no boxing. We're the ones that literally finance the whole thing because if we don't show up to see the fights, guess what? Nobody's getting paid, you know? And if we could have some sort of input, I mean, the old saying, two heads are better than one. The more people who come with more ideas to try to make the sport safer, it could be, I think it could be some good, man. And we'd see less of this stuff going on, and we wouldn't see a young man like Patrick Day, you know, have this happen to him. So if they had smaller gloves, both Max and Patrick would have gotten knocked out early and go back safe to their families the next day. Yeah, I mean, more than likely, yeah, I have to agree. Um, but I mean, still getting that short circuit in your brain, that you know, that's not good for the brain either, you know. So, but that's again, it's just the nature of the business, man. No, Paul, what's up, bro? Thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, I'm glad that El Jefe, that you're voicing your opinion here, man, because um like I said, I think that we should all try to come together and try to um come up with something, man, to fix this, man, so we can see this, less. I mean, like I said earlier, these things don't happen too often, but when they do, it's never easy to see, or hear about. Sanctioning bodies and athletic commissions got to do their job better. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Scrapbook boxing, right? Rest in peace. Yes, may that young man rest in peace. Um, you know, yeah, it's just very unfortunate, man. And I want to share something with you guys now, man. I wanted to just say my piece about Patrick Day. Like I said, I did watch the fight. It was one of those knockouts where you see it, you're like, whoa, it's like, one of those. It's those knockouts that we look for. The big spectacular knockouts. But of course, we didn't expect this to happen. You know, but there's always a chance. There's always a chance for this, and but I do believe that there is a way that we could fix this. UFC had how many deaths in boxing in the last 5 years? Zero. Boxing's had, yeah, at least four that I know of this year for sure, man. Um, yeah, I'm glad you guys are here, giving out ideas, man. And we could, I'm gonna, you know, think about it a little bit more myself. But uh, with this sad event happening recently, I want to show you guys something here real quick. Because last night, I don't know if you guys, I know El Jefe, I don't know if you were there last night for D Style's show, but I shared a story about a friend of mine who was a pro boxer who passed away, um, pretty much right in front of me, my wife, and my cousin. When we were training at the gym here at 24 Hour Fitness, which is literally right down the street from me. I could walk there probably in like 10 minutes. And yeah, he was a good dude, man. He was a little bit older. He decided to start boxing late in his life. I think he was probably about 28, 29, and I think he was probably like 30, 31 when he suddenly passed away. Um, I watched him from the amateurs, then turn pro, um, and it was just a real shocker, and it happened right there in front of us. Like I said, we were there training. I had just did 6, 7 rounds of mitts with him. We were just the regular stuff, man. I wasn't pushing him hard. We had just got started. I was, my cousin was over on the other side, shadow boxing, getting the blood flowing, getting warmed up. So by the time I got done with Richard, our friend, um, I said, "All right, man, good shit, man." Went over to my cousin. "All right, bro, let's go. Time to work." I want to say maybe within about a minute or two, my wife, she starts screaming at us like, "Hey, there's something wrong!" And I mean, I'm telling you, man, he's face down, and we're in this room where it's like hardwood floor. He's face down on the ground. We go over there, roll him over, and he's got like drool coming out of his mouth, and it was a real scary thing to see. We just thought that he kind of like fell down or something, so uh, we were just kind of laughing at first because like I said, we thought we maybe just fell down or something, and but my wife, she's telling us like, no, like there's something wrong with him. Like I seen him like rubbing his head, and then he kind of just stumbled and went down. So we ended up, um, calling the ambulance. They came and got him, and a few days later, he ended up passing away, and it was from a brain aneurysm. We don't know if it was due to, you know, his career. It's very possible, very, very possible to, to connect the two, but at the end of the day, we don't know. Um, so I'm going to show you guys. First off, before I show you guys, I'm gonna go over some of these comments. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. It was a sad thing to see, man, for sure. I'll never forget him, man. He was such a cool guy, man. Reggie Owens, what's up, bro? Thanks for joining me. Tony Boswell, salute G Funk, stop by. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Kenneth Johnson, salute. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for joining me. So I'm gonna share my screen here, man. I got his record pulled up on BoxRec. Let me see. This is my first time using StreamYard, guys. So we're bear with me for a second. All right. Let me see. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this here. Now, let me roll up. He doesn't have a picture here, but here's his name, Richard Page. Um, his record, you can see here from Sacramento, California, where I'm from. He right here it says that he was a cruiserweight. I think maybe his last fight that he had was at cruiserweight, but I know that a majority of his fights were at light heavyweight. You know, actually, before I go down here and show you this, actually he was talking to us about how I want to say it was like maybe his third or fourth fight. Um, they were talking about possibly having him fight Andre Ward, and on Ward's debut as a professional fighter, he was talking to us about that, about how that was a possible thing to happen. He didn't end up getting the fight, but yeah. So here's his record. A lot of these fights here, man, we were there, we were present. Um, these three specific, or four, I should say. These were here in our hometown. Otis Griffin, this guy, he was the winner of Oscar De La Hoya's reality show. Um, he fought Griffin, he lost to Griffin. But I remember watching this one right here. It was on Friday Night Fights. He fought Nelson Zepeda on Friday Night Fights. He lost that fight, but that was the last time I seen him fight on TV. And then, um, just a few months later, the tragedy happened. But yeah, this is my boy's record right here, man. He had 12 fights, and he was a good dude, man. It was a really sad thing that happened to him. Um, but I just wanted to show him some love also because this thing kind of hit home for me, man. To see that, and this guy, I'm telling you, man, he was in tip-top shape, man. Tip-top shape. I mean, really, I'm not joking with you guys, man. This guy, his body looked like Apollo Creed's body in Rocky, bro. I'm telling you, he was just, I mean, chiseled. Just, I mean, he looked like one of those sculptures that you see of those guys with they're all cut up and stuff like that. He was just an amazing athlete. But unfortunately, these things happen, man. See, boxing dialogue. Boxing definitely needs to change something. Absolutely, man. I'm trying to open up the conversation to get something out there for this, so we can do something here. Let's see. Oh, it says UFC small force glove. You can punch on the tempo or rapid shots. You will most likely hurt your hand. And the boxing does get away with rapid punching. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. That's very, very, very true, man. I hope boxing goes back to 6-ounce glove for smaller weights and 8-ounce for the bigger weights. Yeah, dude, those 8-ounce gloves, man. I know you said you box, El Jefe. I think, if I'm not mistaken, those 8-ounce gloves, man, they sting, bro. They sting, man. And it's not fun getting hit with them, that's for sure, man. But yeah, guys, yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts here real quickly on on the Patrick Day passing, and talk about my boy here, Richard Page, who passed away about 13 years ago now. Man, I cannot believe it's been that long. That's crazy. Um, but the old saying, man, time doesn't stop, life goes on, man. But there's not a day that I don't see guys training, or that if I go into the gym, that I don't think about this guy, man. He was a cool guy, man. And his family, they were really heartbroken by what happened. And so I'm sure that Patrick Day's family is feeling the same, man. But I wish, may he rest in peace, and I wish his family nothing but the best in the future, man. Hopefully they can move on and recover from this tragedy. I mean, it's going to take some time, but they will heal eventually. And like I said, hopefully for the brother who fought him, he can, he'll be able to, clear his head and move on, and continue his career. Boxing Dialogue says, I think Canelo even killed someone in sparring a few years ago. Wow. I didn't know that, man. Wow. I have to check that out. Let's see here. LFA boxing. Yep. Back in 2009. Yeah, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Boxing is a fun sport. I love to watch it. I love to talk boxing with you guys. But I think we should definitely try to come up with something here, man, to try to stop this from happening. Maybe sanctioning bodies should require a brain scan once a fighter becomes a contender. These are all great ideas, man. I think that's a great idea. I mean, to take a look in there to see, if there's anything wrong, that could potentially happen. And then you could say, if they do find something wrong, like, hey, man, then maybe it's time to hang it up. Time to hang up the gloves and find something else, because you could be seriously hurt if you continue, with this career. Sparring is where boxers receive the most punishment. You're right, man. I've seen some brutal sparring sessions, man, in the gyms here, and I've seen guys badly hurt. I've seen pro guys, get in the ring with guys who have 4 to 5 amateur fights, and the amateurs are in there just, I mean, just tagging these dudes. I mean, throwing combinations, landing 6, 7 punch combinations on these guys. I remember there was a professional guy who was in one of the gyms. Name was I heard a story about him sparring somebody. I wasn't there for this one, but they told me that he ended up so bloody, like his shorts were white, they were like red by the end of the sparring session. He was in there with an amateur, man, a guy who didn't have a whole lot of experience. You're right, man. There's a lot of damage that gets done in sparring. That's why I'm against the doghouse types. Yeah, me too. Me too. Let's see. Sparring is to help. Right. I was just gonna say that. Sparring is meant for guys to work on things. That's why they put you in there. Like, if you have a problem with a guy who moves, they're gonna make you spar guys who move around so that you can work on cutting off the ring, or so forth. I definitely agree with that, bro. Um, Sparring is not for trying to kill each other. It's to get you, again, in shape, and to get you to, you know, better you sharpen your skills and things like that, man. So yeah, we've already had 24 minutes already, man. I didn't want it to go this long, man, but you know how it is, man. You start talking boxing and things happen. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up here in a minute. I'm gonna see if anybody else is gonna leave a comment before I wrap it up, man. But one more time, I want to say, okay, here we go. Boxing Dialogue. That's why I didn't like the crap that was being thrown at AJ for quitting against Ruiz. How many times we need to see him get dropped? Right, man. That's why I think that I don't remember how many times he got dropped in that last round. I think it was 3. But that should be a rule every time, man. A 3 knockdown rule. Guy goes down 3 times, you know what? That's it. I don't care if you're hurt or not, man. There's a reason why you're going down. It's because of something in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Say hell hefe, like they say at the gym. Leave your ego outside gym. Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, man. So, hey, thanks a lot, guys, for joining me. I do appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like button, smash that like button for me if you can on your way out. Like I said, I just wanted to open up the discussion about this, share a personal story. But I want to say again, rest in peace to my brother Richard Page, who was a friend of mine, a professional boxer, and also to the latest fallen warrior, Patrick Day. May you rest in peace. And Reggie Owens, man, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this thing, man. But thanks a lot. Make sure that you guys watch the show tonight, D Style Live with Reggie Owens tonight. It's gonna be a good one. That's right, Reggie. Three knockdown rules should be standard in every fight. Exactly. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one, man. I'm out.